Welcome, dear listener. It's a gentle night, and I'm so glad you've decided to join me on this peaceful journey. Wherever you are, wherever you've come from, I want you to take this moment to slow down. Let everything outside fade into the background, and let your body settle comfortably like a leaf resting on still water. Breathe in slowly, and as you breathe out, feel the world becoming softer around you. The day's worries, the noise of life, they all start to melt away. In this space, there's no rush, no pressure, just you and the quiet wonders of the world. Tonight, we're going to explore the earth in a way that's calm, slow, and full of quiet awe. You might hear of creatures and phenomena that seem almost magical, and yet they're real. These are the secrets of our planet, wonders both big and small that remind us how deeply connected everything is. They will guide you softly into a peaceful state of mind. We'll drift through glowing oceans, float alongside creatures that can live forever, and journey through forests that speak to one another in whispers we can't hear. Along the way, the world will slow and your thoughts will settle like gentle raindrops, finding rest, finding peace. Some of what we'll encounter tonight may fill you with wonder, and other things will simply pass by, like quiet thoughts on a breeze. Each moment, though, is a step towards calm, a step towards sleep. Let's take one more deep breath together, and with it, let go of any remaining tension. Exhale slowly. Now, let the calmness of the world begin to wrap around you as we start our journey together. Imagine, if you will, the quiet depths of the ocean. It's peaceful here, beneath the surface where the water is cool and the light is soft, barely reaching the waves below. In these tranquil waters, there drifts a creature that defies the very nature of time itself, a jellyfish, so delicate and so simple, yet it holds a secret so profound that it feels like something out of a dream. The creature I speak of is known as Turritopsis dohrnii, but it's more commonly called the immortal jellyfish. Its story is one that might make you pause, if only for a moment, as you float gently in the silence of the sea. You see, this jellyfish has the ability to do something that most of us can only imagine. When it grows old, or when it is injured, it doesn't simply pass on. No, this jellyfish can reverse its own life cycle. Like a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar, the jellyfish rewinds time. It returns to its earlier form, to a stage where it is but a tiny polyp, and begins again. It's as though time itself bends around this creature, offering it the quiet gift of renewal. Now picture it, for a moment, softly drifting through the water. The pulse of its movements is slow, deliberate, timeless. It doesn't rush. It has all the time in the world, a life that can stretch on forever, unless, of course, it is eaten or destroyed. But until then, it will continue to float through the waters, quietly returning again and again to the beginning. This jellyfish doesn't hold the key to eternal life for us, but perhaps it offers a quiet reminder of the possibilities of nature. A creature so small, so delicate, and yet so remarkably resilient. It shows us that sometimes the most profound answers lie in the gentlest, most serene of creatures. Let yourself rest with that thought for a moment, feeling the quiet drift of the jellyfish, its rhythm perfectly in tune with the ebb and flow of the ocean's quiet song. There's no rush here, just the soft, endless movement of time, turning gently like the pulse of the waves. Now, let's move from the gentle depths of the ocean to the stillness of the forest. Picture yourself walking through a quiet grove, the air cool and fresh, the light filtering softly through the canopy above. The trees stand tall and graceful, their leaves swaying ever so slightly in the breeze. But there's something here, something deeper than just the sound of the wind. In the silence, something is happening beneath your feet. The trees, once thought of as solitary giants, are in fact connected beneath the earth. A hidden network of roots and fungi intertwines, forming a web that connects one tree to another. This underground network is called mycorrhiza, a quiet, invisible system that links the forest together. Through these delicate threads, trees communicate with one another, sharing nutrients, sending signals, and even sending warnings about dangers like pests or droughts. Imagine this network, so vast, so intricate, you can barely comprehend it, and yet it's there, in the stillness, connecting everything. The older trees, the ones that have stood for centuries, are the heart of this system. Sometimes they're called mother trees. They share their nutrients with younger, smaller trees, supporting their growth, making sure the forest stays alive and thriving. It's a silent, cooperative exchange, not driven by conscious thought, but by a deep, quiet intelligence that keeps the forest in balance. As you walk through this grove, take a moment to reflect on this secret life that happens beneath the surface. In the quiet darkness of the soil, the trees may stand alone above the earth, their trunks reaching for the sky. But below, they are not alone. They are part of a vast, breathing community, one that relies on the invisible connections of this delicate network. Let yourself breathe in the calm of the forest, feeling its quiet presence all around you. There is no rush here, only the gentle rustling of leaves, the quiet exchange of life beneath the soil, and the slow, steady rhythm of nature, moving in perfect harmony. Now, let us leave the forest behind and gently drift once again, this time into a world so tiny, so delicate, that it often goes unnoticed. Imagine, if you will, the quiet of the microscopic world, where strange creatures live in places that seem almost impossible. In this realm, there is a creature known as the tardigrade, also affectionately called the water bear. At first glance, tardigrades might seem like something out of a dream, so small and so simple, but they are anything but fragile. These tiny, almost invisible creatures have a secret, a gift of extraordinary resilience. Tardigrades can survive in conditions that would destroy most life. They can endure freezing temperatures, boiling heat, crushing pressure, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Yes, space. Picture these little beings floating through the vast, endless reaches of the universe, suspended in a state of quiet dormancy. They do not die, not truly. Instead, they enter a kind of hibernation, a suspended animation known as cryptobiosis. In this state, the tardigrade's metabolism slows to an almost imperceptible pace. It becomes nearly lifeless, waiting for the right moment, waiting for water to return, for life to begin once again. In 2007, scientists sent these resilient creatures into the cold emptiness of space, and when they returned, the tardigrades were still alive. They had endured the harshest conditions imaginable and had emerged, quiet and untouched, from the very edges of the universe. As you imagine this, floating through the cosmos with the tardigrades, think about their quiet strength. They don't rush, they don't worry, they simply exist in a state of stillness until life, in its own time, reawakens, and in that reawakening, they continue quietly enduring through the ages. Let this tiny creature remind you of something peaceful, something profound, that life, no matter how small, is capable of surviving, even thriving, through the most unimaginable trials. Just like the tardigrades, we too can find our own quiet strength, patiently waiting for the world to turn in our favor once again. Now, as we continue our slow, peaceful journey, let's pause for a moment to reflect on something that surrounds us with every breath we take. Oxygen. It's a part of us, always present, always sustaining life. Yet, it hasn't always been this way. Let me tell you the quiet story of oxygen and how it transformed our world. Long, long ago, before the trees whispered beneath the soil and the oceans glittered with life, Earth's air was different. It was thick, heavy, and without the life-giving gas we now rely on. The early Earth, a world that had yet to breathe, was home to tiny, simple organisms, microbes, they were called, living in an atmosphere without oxygen. But then, something remarkable happened. Tiny, photosynthetic microbes, called cyanobacteria, began to emerge. These little beings, so small and quiet, had the ability to harness sunlight, turning it into energy and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. At first, it wasn't much, just a faint whisper in the air, unnoticed by the world around it. But over millions of years, something incredible began to happen. Oxygen started to accumulate, slowly filling the oceans, then the air, until it reached levels that would forever change the face of life on Earth. This gradual rise in oxygen created what scientists call the Great Oxidation Event. For some life forms, this was a catastrophe. Oxygen, once harmless, was now toxic, corroding cells and disrupting ancient metabolisms. Many species disappeared, overwhelmed by this invisible force. Yet, for others, oxygen became a gift, a new source of energy, and life blossomed in ways that had never been possible before. Over time, oxygen became the breath of life itself. It gave rise to more complex creatures, creatures like you and me. Every inhale, every heartbeat is the legacy of that quiet revolution. And as we breathe in this precious gas, we are connected to that ancient past, a story of change, survival, and the quiet power of transformation. Take a deep breath with me now, feeling the oxygen fill your lungs as you drift deeper into this peaceful journey. Let it be a reminder that even in the quietest moments, life is constantly adapting, transforming, and moving forward. Now, let us journey to the quiet, shadowy corners of the earth, where life is full of surprises, and even the gentlest creatures are not always what they seem. Picture yourself stepping softly into a swampy, sun-dappled landscape. The air is thick with moisture, and the scent of rich, damp earth surrounds you. But as you look around, you might notice something unusual. Plants that aren't quite as passive as you might expect. In the stillness, there are some plants that don't simply wait for the sun. They hunt. Slowly, patiently, they reach out with their quiet, hidden traps, waiting for the smallest movement. These are the carnivorous plants, nature's quiet hunters. The Venus flytrap, with its sharp, hinged jaws, waits for an insect to wander too close. At first, it seems still, almost serene, but when the insect touches the delicate trigger hairs within the trap, something remarkable happens. The trap snaps shut in a blink of an eye. It's as though the plant had been holding its breath, waiting for just the right moment to strike. And then there's the pitcher plant. Its deep, slippery well filled with sweet nectar to lure in its prey. Insects are drawn to its beauty, but once they slip inside, they cannot escape. It's a slow, inevitable journey down into the depths, where they will be slowly digested by the plant's digestive enzymes. These plants, with their quiet patience, remind us that survival can take many forms. It isn't always about speed or strength. Sometimes, the most effective strategy is to simply wait, to be still, and to allow the world to come to you. As you imagine these plants, picture them standing quietly in the shadows, moving not with rush or frenzy, but with patience, wisdom, and design. Each leaf, each trap is a masterpiece of evolutionary craftsmanship, carefully constructed for one simple purpose: survival. And now, as you listen to the soft whisper of the breeze through the leaves, take a moment to reflect on the gentleness of life's many strategies. Some move with grace, some with speed, and some with stillness, but all have their place in the quiet dance of nature. Now, let us drift deeper into the night, where the world is not as it seems. Picture yourself by the water's edge, walking along a quiet beach, the moon casting a soft glow across the gentle waves. The air is cool, calm, and filled with the scent of salt water. And as you look down at the ocean, something remarkable happens. The water begins to glow, a soft, eerie, and beautiful light, like tiny stars scattered across the surface. This is no magic, no illusion, but a quiet phenomenon known as bioluminescence. The ocean, alive in a way most of us cannot see, is filled with tiny creatures that can create their own light. These little organisms, like plankton and jellyfish, are capable of producing a glow from within, a soft, cold light that dances across the waves. Imagine this glow, each tiny flash lighting up the water with a rhythm of its own. When the waves crash, or when you move through the water, the plankton light up in bursts, creating a shimmering trail, as though the ocean itself is alive, breathing with the rhythm of the night. It's not moonlight, not reflected light, but the light of life itself. In some places, the glow is so bright that entire shorelines are illuminated, as if the water is alive with stars. In Puerto Rico, for example, there are bioluminescent bays where the glow is so intense that it seems the sea has turned into a dreamscape, full of light and wonder. These tiny creatures, so small, yet so full of life, remind us of the beauty that can be found in the quietest, most unexpected places. They light up the darkness, offering us a glimpse of something magical that exists in the world, if only we take the time to notice it. As you listen to the soft rhythm of the waves, imagine that glow surrounding you, carrying you further into peace, deeper into the quiet pulse of the ocean. Feel the calmness of the water, its steady rhythm matching your own breath, as the glowing plankton light up the night, one gentle flash at a time. Now, as we continue to drift through the wonders of life, let's take a moment to turn inward, to explore the quiet, hidden world within you. We often think of ourselves as a single, solitary being, one body, one mind, one person. But if you listen closely, you'll hear a different story. For within you A universe exists. A universe made up of trillions of tiny creatures, each quietly working together, all playing their part to keep you alive. Inside your body, you're not just human, you are a living community, a vast, invisible ecosystem full of microbes. These tiny beings, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and archaea, far outnumber your own cells. In fact, for every human cell in your body, there are more than 10 microbial cells, quietly living and interacting with each other, with you. Take a slow, deep breath and imagine this world. Trillions of microscopic beings, each one unique, each one playing its part in helping you digest your food, regulate your immune system, produce vitamins, and even influence how you feel. These microbes are not just passengers on your journey, they are vital partners, working in harmony with you. Your microbiome, as it's called, is not just a collection of organisms. It's an extension of your own intelligence. It's a network, silently supporting you, without you ever needing to think about it. It helps you maintain balance, health, and well-being. Each microbe has a role to play, from the bacteria that help break down your food to the fungi that help regulate your body's processes. Some even protect you from harmful invaders, creating a quiet shield around you, working invisibly to keep you safe. As you sit quietly, feeling the soft rhythm of your own breath, take a moment to imagine all of this happening inside of you. Feel the stillness of your body as it is both one and many, a delicate ecosystem humming in unison, maintaining the balance of life. You are never truly alone. In every moment, you are accompanied by an entire world of tiny beings, all working together, helping you move through life with calm, with purpose. So, as you drift deeper into this peaceful state, remember, you're not just a single, solitary being. You are an entire universe, living and breathing in perfect harmony with the world around you. Now, let's shift our gaze once again, this time to the forest floor, where life moves in quiet, unhurried ways. Beneath the towering trees and the soft rustle of leaves, something extraordinary happens, so small and so silent that we often miss it entirely. But in the gentle stillness of nature, this quiet act is one of great beauty, and it's happening all around us. Imagine, if you will, an army of ants moving with purpose across the forest floor. These tiny creatures flow like a living river, their bodies carrying them in perfect synchrony. But what happens when they reach an obstacle, a gap too wide to cross? Do they turn back, or do they stop? No, these ants do something remarkable. They build. In a process so seamless, so silent, the ants begin to form bridges with their very bodies. One ant climbs onto a branch, another climbs onto its back, then another, and another, until a living bridge stretches across the gap. Thousands of ants link together, their bodies creating a flexible, strong structure that allows the entire colony to cross. And when the colony has passed, the bridge is dismantled, each ant returning to its journey, as if nothing had ever happened. It's a living structure, a quiet marvel of collective intelligence and cooperation. There's no leader directing them, no plan set in motion. Instead, it's the instinct of each individual ant responding to its neighbor, working together to solve the problem in front of them. Picture this bridge, built from life, built from cooperation, with no hurry, no rush. The ants move in perfect harmony, guided not by a single voice, but by the soft, silent intelligence of the colony. And in this quiet act, we are reminded that even in the smallest of creatures, there is a profound, unspoken wisdom. As you drift deeper into your own peaceful state, think of the ants, how they too are part of a larger whole, a community that works together, silently, steadily. Let their quiet strength inspire you, and remember that sometimes the most powerful movements in life happen not through speed or force, but through calm, cooperative stillness. Now, let us journey beneath the surface once more into the quiet depths of the ocean. Picture the dark, soft water surrounding you, cool and still, as you float effortlessly through the deep. There, in the quiet, a creature of incredible mystery and grace drifts. The octopus, a master of change, of transformation, and of secrets. The octopus, with its soft, rounded body and countless arms, moves through the water like a dream, almost as if it isn't quite real. Its movements are slow, deliberate, and fluid, but there is something even more remarkable beneath its surface. You see, the octopus is not just a master of camouflage, it is also a shapeshifter. It has the extraordinary ability to rewrite its own biology. Imagine for a moment that you could change not just the way you look, but the way your very body functions. That's what the octopus does, quietly, almost invisibly. While most animals stick to the genetic code they are born with, the octopus can edit its RNA, the molecular script that tells its cells how to function. It doesn't change its DNA, but it does make real-time adjustments to how its genes express themselves. This means the octopus can adapt to its surroundings with remarkable precision, altering the way its neurons work, how it senses its environment, or how it responds to temperature and stress. It's not magic, it's biology, something so deeply mysterious that even scientists are still trying to understand it fully. Picture this creature floating effortlessly in the dim light of the ocean's depths, changing its skin color, texture, and even its very being to blend with its surroundings. It becomes one with the rocks, the sand, the shifting water. Its mind is not confined to a single state. It shifts and changes, adapting to the ever-changing environment around it, just as you might adjust your thoughts or feelings to the world around you. Let this quiet, shape-shifting creature remind you of the vast, unexplored potential that lies within nature. The world is full of mysteries, full of things we may never fully understand, but in the stillness, in the deep, there are always quiet wonders, waiting to be discovered, waiting to reveal their secrets. As you settle into this peaceful moment, imagine the octopus moving through the deep with a grace that only comes from the ability to change, to become whatever is needed in that very moment. It is a reminder that sometimes the greatest strength lies in our ability to adapt and transform with the world, slowly, gently, and without haste. Now, let us gently rise from the depths of the ocean and take a moment to reflect on something profound, something that lies not in the water, but within the quiet minds of some of the Earth's most remarkable creatures. In the vast tapestry of life, one of the greatest mysteries is the idea of self-awareness. It's a question that has fascinated us for centuries. Do other creatures know themselves as we do? Let's consider this for a moment. As you rest in the stillness of the night, imagine yourself for a moment standing before a mirror. You see yourself reflected there, your eyes meeting your own, your image staring back. Most animals, when faced with this same reflection, would simply look at the image, unaware that it is themselves they see. But there are some creatures who do something remarkable. They recognize that the image is their own. This is no small thing. It's a sign of self-awareness, a kind of intelligence that not only sees but understands. In the mirror test, a spot is placed on an animal where they can't see it unless they are looking into a reflection. If the animal touches or examines the spot, it is considered proof that they know the reflection is themselves. It's an understanding, a moment of recognition that transcends the simple act of seeing. There are only a few species that have passed this test. Some great apes, dolphins, elephants, and even certain birds, like magpies, have shown signs of this quiet awareness. They look into the mirror and recognize not just an image, but a part of themselves. It's a rare glimpse into their world, a sign that they too, in their own way, understand what it means to be. As you relax into the stillness, let this thought sink in slowly, like soft rain falling on a quiet forest floor. The idea that self-awareness is not uniquely human, but something that can flicker in the minds of creatures very different from us, is a beautiful thought. It suggests that perhaps, in some way, we are more alike than we know. Across the great tree of life, from the tiniest bird to the largest elephant, there are sparks of understanding, of recognition that bind us together. Take a moment to reflect on this. In the quietest of moments, in the softest of thoughts, there is a connection between all living things, a recognition that we are not so separate, but part of something much greater, and in that quiet connection, we find peace. Now, let us drift quietly through time to a place far beyond the present, where Earth has experienced moments of profound change. Imagine, if you will, a world that has seen the rise and fall of life, worlds so different from ours, yet still connected to the rhythm of life that beats in every living thing. Over the past 500 million years, Earth has gone through 5 great extinctions. Each of these events, immense and silent in their power, wiped out much of the life that once roamed the planet. Whole ecosystems disappeared, leaving behind only the quiet echoes of what once was. Volcanoes erupted, asteroids fell, and climates shifted, altering the course of life itself. And yet, life did not cease. No, even in the face of such overwhelming change, life continued to find a way. From the ashes of these great extinctions, new forms of life emerged, adapted to the changing world. The survivors, those tiny sparks of life, began to rebuild, to thrive once again. Imagine how resilient life is, how it endures even through the darkest, quietest moments. After each of these mass extinctions, new species took the place of the old. The planet, like a patient gardener, allowed life to regenerate, to evolve, and to flourish once again. Though the world changed, though it grew quieter at times, life was always there, always adapting, always moving forward. In these moments of stillness, we are reminded that life, in all its forms, is deeply connected to the past. It carries the echoes of those who came before, and it holds the seeds of what is yet to come. Through every extinction, life learned, adapted, and began anew. As you rest now, feel the quiet rhythm of Earth's enduring spirit. Life on this planet is ancient, resilient, and capable of weathering any storm. And just like the earth itself, you too have the ability to adapt, to heal, and to find new growth in even the quietest of times. Now, let us drift once more into the quieter corners of the forest, where life moves in strange and mysterious ways. Among the damp earth and the fallen leaves, a secret drama unfolds, so quiet, so hidden, that we often overlook it. But if we listen closely, we might catch the faintest whispers of this quiet, peculiar tale. Imagine, if you will, the deep, shaded spaces of the forest floor, where the soft, damp earth cradles life in all its forms. Here, a special kind of fungus thrives. Its name is Ophiocordyceps, but in the world of the forest, it is known for something remarkable and perhaps a little eerie. This fungus doesn't just grow quietly in the dark. It becomes something of a puppeteer, manipulating its host with precision and care. The Ophiocordyceps fungus infects ants, slowly taking control of their body and mind. As it grows inside the ant, it releases chemicals that alter the insect's behavior, guiding it away from its colony and higher into the forest. Eventually, the ant climbs a plant stem and clamps onto a leaf or twig, and there, the fungus kills its host, continuing its life cycle by sprouting a stalk from the back of the ant's head, releasing spores into the air to infect others below. It's a strange, quiet, and slightly haunting process, one that happens with a slow inevitability. The ant, in its final moments, is not just a creature on its own journey, but a vehicle for the fungus's own survival. There's no anger, no malice, just a quiet, unspoken drama that plays out in the forest's shadow. As you imagine this quiet world, consider how nature has found ways to weave stories and strategies so intricate, so hidden, that they remain unnoticed by most of us. Life, in all its forms, is full of quiet battles and subtle collaborations. Sometimes, the smallest creatures are part of the most complex and beautiful systems, ones that move without haste, without sound, but with an unyielding, patient purpose. Take a slow breath now, and let the stillness of the forest settle around you. Imagine the calm movement of life, even when it is hidden beneath the surface, happening slowly, silently, in its own time. There is a strange, quiet beauty in these secret systems, just as there is in the soft rhythm of your own breathing. Now, let's pause and turn our gaze to the world around us, to the colors that paint the landscapes and skies of Earth. Look around. What do you see? The greens of the trees, the browns of the earth, the soft hues of flowers. But there's one color that stands out, that fills the world with a certain magic. Blue. Imagine the sky above you, vast and endless, stretching as far as the eye can see. The ocean, too, is a deep, shimmering blue, its waves gently lapping at the shore. And yet, in nature, blue is one of the rarest colors. In fact, many of the creatures we associate with the color blue don't actually contain blue pigment at all. Instead, they rely on something much more delicate and wondrous: structure. From the wings of a butterfly to the feathers of a bird, the color we see as blue is often an illusion created by the way light interacts with tiny structures on their surfaces. These structures bend and scatter the light, reflecting blue wavelengths in a way that looks like pigment, though it isn't. The butterfly's wings, the peacock's feathers, and the blue jay's feathers all owe their color to this subtle optical trick. It's not a pigment they carry, but a shape, a pattern that bends the light in just the right way to give us the color we know. This special blue, this delicate dance of light and surface, makes every blue hue a wonder. Each one is like a fleeting moment, a quiet brushstroke of color created by the quiet, careful interaction of biology and physics, a secret hidden in plain sight. As you rest here, drifting peacefully, imagine the brilliance of these blue wonders all around you. The brilliant blue wings of a morpho butterfly, the deep blue of a distant ocean, the sky stretching endlessly above. Even in the simplest moments, there is magic, subtle and hidden in the way light and life meet. Let this gentle wonder fill you with peace, knowing that even in the quietest, most overlooked details of nature, there is beauty and complexity waiting for us to notice. Let the soft, quiet shimmer of blue remind you that there is always more to discover, even in the most familiar of sights. Now, let us journey to the vast, open plains of Africa, where the sun casts a golden glow over the land, and the air is warm, yet soft. The world here is quiet, a place where time seems to stretch long and slow. And amidst this peaceful landscape, we encounter one of the most remarkable creatures to ever walk the earth. The elephant. These majestic animals, with their towering frames and graceful movements, have lived on this planet for millions of years, walking across the savannas, through forests, and beneath the great skies. But what makes the elephant's story so deeply moving, so quietly humbling, is its capacity for something many of us might not expect: grief. When an elephant comes across the bones of a deceased family member, it pauses, it stops in its tracks, and with great care, it touches the bones with its trunk. There is no hurry, no rush. The elephant lingers, as if it is silently paying its respects. Some elephants, it is said, return to the same place where a loved one has passed, year after year, gently touching the bones once more. But grief isn't just a quiet acknowledgement for elephants. They have been observed standing guard over a dying companion, refusing to leave. It is as though they understand that in the final moments, there is something to be shared, something to be remembered, something that must be honored. Their emotions are not like ours, but they are real, and they run deep. As you listen to the soft rhythm of your breath, imagine this: a family of elephants, so bound together by love and memory, so intertwined in their journey through life. And when one of their own passes, they hold that memory close, feeling a quiet loss in their own way. It's a reminder that love, empathy, and loss are not ours alone to experience. In this moment, take a deep breath with me and let the stillness of the elephant's quiet grief surround you. Life is fragile, and yet it is beautiful in its endurance. And just as the elephants honor their past, we too can honor our own, remembering those we have loved and lost, holding them gently in our hearts, just as the elephants hold their own. Now, let us dive beneath the waves once again, where the water is calm, the light dappled and soft, and the world feels peaceful, almost weightless. Here, in the quiet depths, a hidden city lies waiting to be discovered. It is a place where life flourishes in abundance, full of color, movement, and the quiet hum of existence. This is the world of coral reefs, those underwater marvels created by creatures so small, so delicate, that we often fail to see the grand story they tell. At first glance, coral reefs may appear to be simple, rocky structures. But if you look closer, you will see something far more intricate. Each reef is built by tiny, secretive architects known as coral polyps. These creatures, no larger than the tip of your finger, work tirelessly to create something much larger than themselves. Each coral polyp secretes calcium carbonate, a substance that forms the hard skeletons of the reef. Over time, layer by layer, the corals build immense structures, vast underwater cities that stretch for miles. These tiny creatures, working together in unison, create the foundation for an ecosystem that supports thousands of species: fish, sea turtles, mollusks, and so many others make their homes within these living cities. As you imagine this quiet world, think of the patient work of the coral polyps, building and creating without haste, without pause. It's a process that spans centuries, each generation of corals adding to the foundation laid by the ones before. It's a reminder that the most beautiful, complex things in nature are often built slowly, quietly, and with great care. In this underwater world, life is a delicate balance. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, yet they support nearly a quarter of all marine species. They are vibrant and full of life, yet also fragile, vulnerable to the changes in the world around them. Their quiet existence reminds us of the importance of patience, collaboration, and the slow, steady progress that shapes the world. As you rest in the stillness of this moment, let the peaceful rhythm of the ocean's ebb and flow guide you deeper into relaxation. Picture the coral polyps gently working away, building a home for all who come after them. Life, in all its forms, can be quiet and powerful, tender and enduring, just like these tiny architects of the sea. Now, let us journey to a world so small, so simple, that it often goes unnoticed. Yet, in this hidden realm, life has a way of moving with quiet grace, showing us that even the most unassuming creatures can hold secrets of intelligence and wonder. Imagine yourself standing in a damp, shaded corner of the forest where the ground is soft and the air is cool. It's here, among the decaying leaves and the moist earth, that we find one of nature's most puzzling yet fascinating organisms, the slime mold. At first glance, slime molds may seem unremarkable. They appear as soft, gelatinous blobs that stretch and flow slowly across the forest floor. But take a moment to observe them, to watch their quiet movements. Slime molds have no brain, no nervous system, and yet they are capable of solving puzzles, finding the most efficient paths through mazes, and even remembering their surroundings. Imagine, if you will, the slime mold in a laboratory setting, placed in a maze with food at two different exits. It moves, exploring every path, making its way through the labyrinth with no eyes, no guidance, just a slow, steady search. And after a time, the slime mold finds the quickest way to the food, using its own subtle, instinctual intelligence. It doesn't think in the way we do, but somehow it knows how to find its way, how to make decisions, how to adapt. It's a quiet form of intelligence, one that works without thought, without calculation, but with a deep, unspoken wisdom that guides its movements. These creatures remind us that intelligence can come in many forms, sometimes without a brain, sometimes without thought, yet always with purpose. As you imagine this strange and mysterious organism drifting slowly across the forest floor, consider how much we still have to learn from the quietest of beings. Slime molds show us that intelligence isn't always something we can see or understand immediately. Sometimes it's something that moves in the shadows, that flows silently beneath the surface, waiting to reveal itself when the time is right. In this moment, let the mystery of the slime mold guide you deeper into peace. There is wisdom in the quietest movements, in the slowest decisions. Life, in all its complexity, often finds the simplest, most effective path forward, even when we cannot see it. Now, let's take a moment to imagine ourselves high above the earth, looking down upon one of the planet's most vital, yet hidden, wonders. Picture the lush green expanse of the Amazon rainforest stretching as far as the eye can see, its trees standing tall, their leaves whispering in the gentle breeze. The air here is thick, rich with life, and filled with the sweet scent of damp earth and vibrant foliage. But beneath this peaceful green canopy, there is something much more profound happening. The Amazon is not just a forest, not just a collection of trees. It is a living, breathing system, one that plays a silent yet powerful role in the world's climate. Every day, the trees of the Amazon release billions of tiny droplets of water into the air, a process called transpiration. This moisture rises, cools, and condenses, forming clouds, which in turn bring the rains that nourish the forest. The Amazon, in a sense, creates its own weather. It doesn't simply rely on the clouds to form, but through its own quiet action, it shapes the climate around it. The cycle of moisture, evaporation, and rainfall is a dance that has been happening for millions of years, a soft rhythm that sustains not just the forest, but much of South America's weather patterns. And just as the forest breathes out, it also breathes in, absorbing carbon dioxide from the air and helping to regulate the planet's temperature. It is a system that supports life in ways we can't always see, yet its effects are profound, felt around the world. Imagine this vast, quiet system, moving in perfect harmony, each tree, each drop of water playing a part in maintaining balance. The Amazon is not just a collection of trees. It is a powerful, living force, breathing life into the very air we breathe, silently working to sustain our planet. As you relax into this moment, let the rhythm of the Amazon's breath fill you with a sense of calm, a sense of peace. The forest is alive in ways we cannot always see, but it is always working, always moving, always supporting the world around it. Just as it breathes, so do we, together, in a quiet, unspoken partnership with the earth. Now, let us journey to a quieter, colder place, a world where the stillness of winter has a strange and beautiful power. Picture the frozen landscape stretching out before you, the air crisp and cool. The ground is hard, covered in a blanket of snow, and the world feels calm, almost asleep. But hidden beneath the icy surface, there is life, a life that sleeps, waits, and dreams beneath the frost. In this frozen world, there lives a creature that defies the very nature of winter. The wood frog, a small, unassuming amphibian, has found a way to survive the harshest of conditions. When the temperatures drop and the world freezes around it, the wood frog does something remarkable. It freezes itself. Its heart stops. Its blood turns to ice. Its body becomes stiff, as if time has paused. Yet, the frog does not die. Inside, its cells remain protected by special compounds, natural antifreeze, that keeps the delicate structures of life intact. It's as though the frog has entered a deep sleep, a sleep so profound that it appears lifeless. But when the warmth of spring arrives and the ice begins to melt, the frog awakens. Its heart begins to beat again. Its blood flows once more, and it continues its life as though nothing has happened. The frozen world that surrounded it has passed, and the frog has emerged, alive and renewed. Imagine this peaceful transformation. The frog, frozen in time, holding its breath beneath the cold, waiting for the moment when life will return. It is a quiet miracle of adaptation, a reminder that life, no matter how small, has an incredible resilience, a patience that allows it to endure through the most unimaginable conditions. As you listen to the soft rhythm of your own breath, think of the wood frog, waiting quietly in the frozen world, at peace with the stillness of winter. Life is not always a race. Sometimes it is about holding still, waiting, and trusting that when the time is right, the warmth will return and the cycle of life will begin anew. As we near the end of our journey, let's pause for a moment and reflect on the incredible, timeless thread that runs through all of life. We've traveled together through the quiet wonders of Earth, from the shimmering blue glow of the ocean to the patient, slow movements of the ants. We've witnessed the resilience of life, from the immortal jellyfish to the frozen frogs, each one showing us a different aspect of nature's power, its wisdom, and its beauty. But through all of these wonders, one thing remains constant. Life is always moving forward, always evolving, always enduring. It is a journey that stretches across millions of years, a quiet unfolding of creation and transformation, ever changing, and yet ever the same. Life on Earth has witnessed the passing of time, the rise and fall of species, the changes of climates, and the stillness of extinction. But through it all, life continues to find a way. In the quiet corners of the world, in the deepest oceans, in the farthest reaches of the sky, life adapts, it survives, and it moves forward. Through the darkest of nights, through the quietest moments, through the harshest of winters. As you sit here, resting deeply, consider how you too are part of this timeless journey. You are part of a story that began long before you were born, and it will continue long after. Just as the earth breathes and changes, so too do you, moving forward with each passing moment, adapting, growing, and finding your way. In the stillness of the night, as the world sleeps around you, remember that life is not something that stands still. It is always evolving, always moving, always finding new paths to take. And in this quiet, gentle movement, you are connected to something far greater than yourself, a vast, timeless journey that is shared by all living things. Take a deep breath now, and with it, let the peace of this moment settle in. Let the knowledge that you are part of something much greater bring you comfort. Life, in all its forms, is moving forward, ever so quietly, in its own rhythm, in its own time. And now, as you rest, know that the journey of life continues, quietly, peacefully, and always, just like you.